Hi everyone, Mr. Hawkins with Hawkins Tech, and in this video I will be comparing both iOS 15, iOS 16, and iOS 18 together. Now, I have two iPhones and my iPad, and these are my brother's iPhones. He's letting me borrow them for this video. I have my iPad as I'm recording off my iPhone, so I won't be able to show you guys, but it's running the exact same version of software as my iPhone, but it's iPadOS 18, but it's still the same version. So we're going to go over the customization features with the wallpapers, the photos, and some of Apple's changes that they've done. Now, I will leave a disclaimer. The iPhone SE, which is running iOS 16, it does like to reboot randomly on its own, so that may happen throughout the video. You're just going to have to bear with me here. But we're going to start with iOS 15 on this iPhone 7. And this iPhone 7 is running iOS 15.8.3. Now, I will say I tried to do this video earlier, but YouTube wouldn't allow it. As you know, I won't really get into the specifics. It's just some extra steps I had to do, so we're not going to get into that. But I am here, and I'm going to review iOS. Oh, the iPhone SE just rebooted. We're going to review iOS 15, 16, and 18. So we're going to go into settings and take a look at the wallpapers. This is the wallpaper for iOS 15. Here it is in dark and light mode. There's some other wallpapers. They have both light and dark mode variants. It will show you that by splitting it. Half light, half dark. Dark mode, these wallpapers have the blue effect. I do miss these desert scape wallpapers. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We had 8 of these wallpapers. I do miss these wallpapers. Hopefully Apple does bring them back. They were pretty nice wallpapers. We also have our stripes wallpaper and even a black background wallpaper. We have our dynamics. And we also have our stills, which we'll make it three still wallpapers. Or live, rather, I meant. Now, on the iPhone SE, here's the one for iOS 16. And we also have, I'm trying to do this one-handedly here. We also have our collections with weather and astronomy, pride, color, emoji, unity, stripes, dynamic clownfish wallpaper. And on the iPad or the iOS 18 device, we have about the same, but we have a couple new ones. We have dynamic wallpaper. This is a purple. I think it's sort of a bluish color, indigo color. I think that's a blue one. It's a green one. We also have our Unity stripes, and we even have the hello screen, which is really nice. I thought I set that wallpaper. I meant to set it before I did that, so I can show you guys. It does draw out the word. I'm going to show you here. It draws out the word hello. Kind of like when you do a software update and you get the hello screen. I will be sure the next time I get one of those to maybe film it on a device so I can show it in the video that I cover the update in, and maybe airdrop it to my iPhone if I record it with the iPad. We also have our original old school iPad wallpaper from 2010. Then we also have a stripes wallpaper, new Pride wallpapers. Then we have the one from iOS 16, both of them. Overall, we have nice wallpapers. Now with iOS 16, we gained the ability to customize the lock screen. You can see I have widgets on here already. It's very similar to iOS 18, except that with iOS 18, you have the ability to change out the lock screen camera shortcuts. The flashlight and camera that's on the iPhones with home buttons. You have the option to change that with iOS 18. Whereas on iOS 15, you don't really get that, unfortunately. It's just a simple lock screen. Now, as far as photos is concerned, I'm going to try to go into them on both devices. Yes, sometimes this SC does cut off. There isn't really much of a difference between the Photos app on iOS 15 and iOS 16. They look pretty much identical for the most part. So if the SE doesn't really want to work for this part, that's okay. But I got it to work. But on iOS 18 is the biggest visual difference. Whereas on iOS 18, you have your account, you have a select button and a search button. You can search for things. You also have more options down here with people and pets, recent days, pin collections. You can delete some of this if you think it's not simple. If you like the simpleness of having a simple layout like iOS 16 and iOS 17 was, and maybe iOS 15, you don't really need to have all those options, but I think it looks good to me with iOS 18. Most people, though, think it's confusing and they just prefer a cleaner look. And I do have a video on my channel about how to customize the Photos app. It's somewhere on my channel. I will try to see if I can show it to you really quickly for this video. That's the video right there. I did it back in December. I did get 2 comments on it. They were nice comments. Yeah, as you can see, the iPhone SE did just reboot again. This phone does have some issues where it likes to reboot. This phone, it has a bit of internal damage, unfortunately, so it does reboot. But like I mentioned, we're going to have to work around that. Now let's go into the next thing. We're not going to go into Safari as there isn't really much to compare. Safari looks identical. Okay, we're just going to have to let that do its thing. Safari looks pretty much identical. But with iOS 18, or iOS 17 rather, we do have interactive widgets. So let me add a small widget here. We're going to add podcast. That's my favorite one.
Habit view. Leading off today, Apple Intelligence arrived on compatible.
So yes, we do have interactive widgets with this one. Also, you can move apps around in iOS 18, and that's not the only thing you can do. You see I have my icons in dark mode. That's just one of the new features. I will quickly show you its customization power. You have light mode. Dark mode dims the wallpaper. And this little sun icon is how you undim it. You also have automatic, which is when you go into light mode, you have it where it goes out of light when it's in dark. And you also have tinted. And again, you can tint the icons. It does do it by default, like dim the wallpaper. As you can see, this is what it looks like. Unfortunately, you don't get those on iOS 16 or iOS 15. It's just the iOS 18 exclusive. However, you do get widgets on both. Yep, the SE just went again. As far as any other apps I can take a look at, we won't go into all of them. The home app doesn't really work on neither of these devices, so we won't really go into that. Although there is a slight update. So you can't really move apps around. Not like how you can You can't move apps the way you can with iOS 18. It's just not possible on this version. I also don't think this SE is also connected to Wi-Fi either. But I'm not 100% worried about that. Oh yeah, it is connected. We're going to test out the speakers. I know it's not exactly part of this, but we're going to do it anyway. Hawkins Tech. The speakers are a little bit distorted on here. This is part 1 of my video. I am doing part 2 currently. Hi everyone, Mr. Hawkins with Hawkins Tech, and in this video, I want to do sort of an iOS comparison type of video. So as you can see here, we have 2 iPhones, and of course, yeah, the speakers don't really sound that great on this phone, unfortunately. They're not great speakers, but we're going to have to make the best of it. As best as we can. But we won't be really needing to worry about the speakers, as that's not part of this video. I just wanted to test out the speakers. But we can try, well, podcast doesn't work. See if they made any updates to Apple TV, any new splash screens we can take a look at. See how fast they load up. If you think I should do a speed test, please let me know down in the comments, and I will try to see if I can get that going. I can do a speed test between iOS 15, iOS 16, and iOS 18. If you want to see that video, let me know down in the comments, and I will try to see if I can do that video. Maybe I can borrow these 2 phones from my brother because that's how I got them. I can do that video. I can do a speed test for you guys, and the only problem is this SE cuts off. So like I said before, we will definitely have to work through that. I don't know where I have Apple TV here. Open Apple TV. So let's see here. Move the SE aside. iOS 15, I don't really see a whole lot of change. I know the iPad is a wide screen, but let's compare it to iOS 15. I think it's going to do it. Well, I didn't do it. I thought I would do it about like 3 times. Yep, 3rd time. Not now. Overall, these sort of look identical in a way. Alright, I'm not going to make this video too long. I just wanted to compare sort of the history of iOS. I want to compare iOS 15, 16, and 18. Unfortunately, I don't have an iOS 17 device, so I can't really compare iOS 17, but iOS 18 is a good example. If you guys like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know down in the comments if I should do a speed test, and I will see if I can do that. Until next time, I will see you guys later.